On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation for the conferment of degrees here in our Barony Hall. Today is a very special day in our university calendar. It's a graduation day, which makes it a day of celebration for our graduates, for all the family and friends, and indeed for all the staff of the university. And I can't think of a better venue in which to start this celebration than here in the Barony. In the United States, they refer to these events as commencement ceremonies, as they use them to signify the beginning of a new journey as opposed to an ending. And it is in this spirit that we also celebrate graduations at the University of Strathclyde. Now, in a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each of our graduates as their name is called out and they come up on stage to receive their award. The capping tradition has its roots in ancient China, and it's recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates once capped, they're now part of a community of scholars at the University of Strathclyde that can stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. So they'll be in very good company. At the close of graduation, we have a reception in our nearby Ward Todd building to which everyone is invited to come along. We also hope to have an academic procession from the Barony over to the Ward Todd. This normally depends upon the weather, but I think our luck is in today and the weather will stay fine. So in the meantime, I do hope that you enjoy the ceremony, and when you see your loved one come on stage to receive their award, I would strongly encourage you to celebrate. These occasions don't come round very often, and for many, they are once in a lifetime. So please feel free to make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is open, and I invite Professor Atil Inchechik, the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, to present our graduates to receive their awards. Thank you.
Vice Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for research in the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering, Maria Lucia Buriguglia. Christopher Campbell. Alexandra Maria Pedro da Costa. Honorio Claudio Mancini. Ivan Alexandro Principi. For research in the Department of Naval Architecture, Ocean and Marine Engineering, Volkan Aslan. Buyong Jong. Atabek Tahiri. For the degree of Master of Science in Marine Engineering, Yusuf Ali Ahmed Ali. Dimitrios Viskadoros. In Ship and Offshore Technology, Harold Christian Astrup. Jan Christian Berndt. Marius Hekstad Andresen. Natalia Marta Krishadovka. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Rory Knight Aitken. David Ross Alexander. Qasim Ali. Douglas John Allen. Duncan James Matthew Arthur. Christopher James Barclay. Matthew James Button. Sean Bull. Stephanie Byrne. Francesca Anni Capaldi. Scott John Clark. Robin McCarroll Convey. Sean James Cook. Sean Paul Corrigan. Louise Kathleen Coyle. Amy Louise Craig. Luke Daniel Malcolm Craig. Bobby Cumming. Catherine Ann Evans. Blair Ewan Fraser. Jack Daniel Gillespie. Kerr Gray. Ellen Marie Hassett. Kirsty Hawthorne. Matthew Joseph Helingo. Rebecca Jane Henderson. Emily Fenhilly Loughran Hughes. Mayuri Laura Yap. Peter Ferguson Johnston. Ryan Johnston. Mark Jones. Callum William Joss. Megan Catherine Kane. Anjali Kochar. Bianca Laird. Fraser Scott Lawson. Vincent Patrick Linden. Ian Cameron Lindsay. Paul McCambridge. Conor McGrady. Anthony Francis McFadden. Ross McGarva. Callum McGonigal. Craig Robert McCarley. Constantina Mandelu. Stephen Michael Mellins. Ross Menzies. Robbie Lee Miller. Matthew James Miller. Matthew Montgomery. Alexandria Morrison. Ewan Park. Richard Annan Fuban. Robert Charles Kirkhope Poole. Natasha Rabayas. Finley David Ray. Kieran Rafferty. Neil Hart Robertson. Nicholas Fraser Harvey Rogers. Joshua Sharon Roy. Matthew Michael Stewart Russell. Grant John Scott. Jonathan Andrew Shaw. Michael James Smith. Georgia Stevenson. Gillian Stewart. James Stewart. Jack Ross Joseph Taggart. Gregor Andrew Turner. Gregor James Kenneth Orgard. Hannah Waters. Grant West. Ross Cameron Wilson. In naval architecture and marine engineering, Jonathan William Brown. Tiffany Elizabeth Brown. Michael Ferguson Clark. Rhys William Cuthbert. Andrew Douglas Herdman. Alejandros Comanos. Scott Michael Lorimer. Stefanos Mamalis. Anastasios Manodakis. Christophoros Mavrelos. David Owen. Ian Donald Paul. Fotios Stephanadis. Amy Todd. Konstantinos Marios Sicilionis. Nicolata Vekri. Andreas Virkaldatis Botis. In naval architecture with ocean engineering, David Michael Cooper. Taylor Dagan. Caitlin Gilmer. Ruray Marchant. Callum James All. Alistair Phillips. Marielle India Phimister. Michael Alexander Wilson. In naval architecture with high-performance marine vehicles, Sam Faraghi. Ian Angus Hay. Martin John Marshall. Miriam Timmerman. Moritz Michael Felix Troll. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Ahmed Al-Harak. Angelina Martin. Russell Andrew Miller. Blair Affleck. Aza Abdullah Mohammed El-Hapsi. Asala Yusuf Mohammed Salim Al-Wardi. Yun Anderson. Gemma Louise Hamilton. Danielle Taylor Kerr. Olawatosin Akambi. Finley James Bainker. Christopher Cameron Brown. Katrina Mary Guston. Shane Gaze. Callum Ian Morrison. Shannon Murray. Holly Elizabeth Stewart. Hannah Halit Halfdan Al-Jabri. Fatima Al-Hashra. Aidan Andrew Fletcher. In naval architecture and marine engineering, Hu Chongzan. Alkmini Eleni Papagopoulou. Mustafa Beyoğlu. Jamie Brain Gallagher. Louise Mackey Kelly. Sean Michael James Kelly. In Naval Architecture with Ocean Engineering, Zhou Mingdao. Laura Jane Duthie. Callum Barrett. In Naval Architecture with High Performance Marine Vehicles, Hamish James Murray. Fergus Alistair McGowan. In Engineering Studies, Dylan Horner.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde University's newest graduates, it is my pleasure to once again warmly welcome you to our graduation ceremony here in the Barony Hall. Quite rightly, our graduates have been centre stage, and I would like to begin my address by congratulating all of you once again on your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and this has now been recognised in front of your families and the staff who taught and supported you during your time at the university. And under the lights of this magnificent venue, we celebrate your efforts and your achievements. Well done indeed. Now, in a short while at the close of graduation, you'll be asked to join the academic procession as this leaves the Barony Hall. This invitation actually symbolises the fact that you are no longer students and now full members of the academic community of Strathclyde, a community that numbers over 170,000 individuals. The class of 2018 is graduating at a time of considerable change in Scotland, in the UK and internationally, and there is no doubt that challenges lie ahead for us all. However, as members of the Strathclyde family, you belong to a large, growing, worldwide community with a shared ethos of tolerance and understanding and a desire to make a positive difference. I hope that the memory of today is something that will stay with you wherever you go and whatever you choose to do in life. We will keep in touch with you through our alumni team and ask that you keep in touch with us. Let us know what you're up to, what you think about what we're doing at the university, and what you would like to do to help future generations of students. As graduates of a socially progressive university, you have a competitive advantage, having been equipped with the skills, know-how and capacity to absorb knowledge, together with the ability to positively influence and shape the world around you. Nelson Mandela once said that education was the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Do not underestimate this power or your responsibility to use it well. In Scotland, we are fortunate in having a higher education system which is internationally respected, and as a society, we are quite right to invest in it. Education broadens the mind and creates opportunities for individuals and for society. However, education itself does not confer rights. The opportunities that education gives each of us also carries with it a responsibility to use what we have learned wisely and for the good of others. A sense of duty should come readily to graduates of this university. As Strathclyders, we only have to look to the achievements of those who have gone before us for our inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To the world's first oil man, James Paraffin Young. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone. To John Logie Baird, who did such pioneering work on the development of television. In the present day, we look to Dame Eilish Angiolini, a pioneer in Scottish justice as the country's first female Solicitor General and later its first female Lord Advocate. And to Sir Tom Hunter, one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history, and a philanthropist who has used his wealth to the great benefit of others around the world. I am sure that you've been given lots of advice on how best to plan your lives. Some of this advice you will rightly ignore, some you may accept, but most you will have to learn for yourselves. Robert Lee Stevenson put it well when he said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." Now, to reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have travelled a different journey. For some, the path may have been relatively smooth. For others, this may have been more challenging. However, I am certain of one thing, that none of you would be here without the active support of your family and friends. They have picked you up when you've been down, they have encouraged you when you've needed it, and many will be here today proudly watching as you cross this stage with broad smiles and the odd tear in their eye. Now, they are celebrating today not just because you're almost off the payroll, there's something in that, but because you carry with you their hopes, their wishes and confidence for a successful career. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each in turn cross the stage to receive your awards. I would now like to invite all of our graduates to show their appreciation for the support received from their family and friends. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who have helped to create and shape the University of Strathclyde. And you can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots. Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded during the Age of Enlightenment and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. This can be seen in our pioneering law clinic, where our students provide support and representation to people who cannot afford legal advice. And it can be seen in our business school, named the 2016 UK Business School of the Year in the prestigious Times Higher Education Awards. It can also be seen in our Technology and Innovation Centre, which is transforming the way in which academics collaborate with business, industry and the public sector to bring global competitive advantage to Scotland. And this is a tangible sign of the university's commitment to world-class research and ensuring that outcomes have maximum benefit to society and to the economy. These represent a small sample of the many innovative projects being led by our world-class staff and students, taking new knowledge and using this to solve problems in industry, in the classroom and in the boardroom. I'm especially pleased to note that we are developing our campus to enable us to do even more. We have a new £31 million Sports Health and Wellbeing Centre, along with a £20 million district energy network, both due for completion this year. And we're about to begin work on a new £60 million learning and teaching facility in the heart of the campus, bringing our total investment in our estate to more than £650 million over the last 10 years. Other engineering faculty highlights over the last year include the Faculty's Engineering Academy, which was named Partnership of the Year in the Scottish Qualifications Authority Star Awards, which celebrates excellence in education and training. School pupils with additional support needs recently joined a 2-day hands-on event in May by taking part in Young Chemical Ambassadors and Salter Science Festival events. The Faculty's Scottish Space School won the Innovation in STEM Training Award at the Global Game Changers Awards for supporting early career opportunities in engineering, science and technology. The faculty launched the first graduate apprenticeship degree programme in engineering, design and manufacture with an excellent response from our industry partners. These programmes allow employees to study for a degree at Strathclyde while continuing to work full-time. David Weir of Chemical and Process Engineering won a bronze medal as a member of Team Scotland's 5-man artistic gymnastics squad at the Commonwealth Games, and this added to David's haul of 6 medals won at the 2017 Scottish Championships. And Professor Osmond Turin of Naval Architecture, Ocean and Marine Engineering has been awarded the Transport Research Arena Vision Award in recognition of his contribution to EU research and in particular for his work in developing safety enhancements in shipping transport. Now, these are just some of the many contributions being made by our staff and students across the Faculty of Engineering. And Strathclyde is being increasingly recognised as a place where things happen. This is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Our success is in no small part due to the collective efforts, talent and commitment of our staff, the 3,700 colleagues who deliver our vision as a leading international technological university. Like me, they are very proud of your achievements. All of our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of this afternoon's proceedings, which I hope you've enjoyed and that you'll take away very many happy memories of today. I would remind you that we have a reception in our nearby Lord Todd building to which everyone is invited to come along. I'll take this opportunity to invite Strathclyde University's newest graduates to join the academic procession as this leaves the hall. And if I could ask, ladies and gentlemen, for you to remain in the hall till the academic procession has passed and then follows straight over to the reception. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed.